What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We got something different, we're gonna be talking about some more European theme parks. Somebody sent me this recommendation. I had to check it out because I checked out some theme park videos about the Efteling in the Netherlands, and we always talk about like Disney World. We got some theme parks around here that they're like an hour or so away from where I live, but you know what I mean, I usually don't do roller coasters, but there are some rides that I wouldn't mind trying, and it's all about an experience, you know what I'm saying? So we're finna check out these European theme parks, probably around all of Europe. Y'all hit that subscribe button, send me more recommendations. Let's check it out.
This is Phantasialand. Located in rural Germany on a plot of 28 hectares, a fraction smaller than Disneyland in California, the theme park attracts roughly 2 million visitors per year and contains some of the most fully realized themed roller coasters and attractions in the world. It is a picturesque and beautiful resort that resides in the middle of nowhere, inside a town of just under 50,000 people. This is Energylandia. Located in Zator, Poland, the theme park opened in 2014 with just 3 roller coasters. As of 2021, it now has 17 roller coasters, and next year it will open its 18th and 19th coaster, just shy of the world record of 20, and is among one of the top 10 most Googled tourist destinations in Europe, alongside the Eiffel Tower and the Colosseum. Efteling, Europa Park, Port Aventura, Tivoli Gardens, Gardaland, and Alton Towers. These are all incredible, world-class, and innovative leaders in theme parks, which happen to be based in Europe. For many people, including myself, we see quality theme parks existing within a bubble branded by Universal and Disney. Whilst other theme park operators are able to create lightning in a bottle sometimes, for most of us, the immersive themed experiences that come to mind when thinking about quality theme park attractions are those that can take us to Hogwarts Castle or a galaxy far, far away. In the United States, the theme park industry is a beast that rests on the shoulders of giants like Universal and Disney. There are plenty more.
I feel like Universal and Disney, that's pretty much all we got. And I've been to Universal Studios, pretty cool, because my brother lives in Florida. Still, we might take our kids to Disney World this year. But your boy definitely gonna visit Efteling, because I like it.
Parks beyond those, but the ultimate destinations, whether through actual experiences or clever marketing, are perceived to be with these said giants. But in Europe, Disney is just another fish in a very, very big sea. Universal and Six Flags are almost nowhere to be seen, and a majority of parks are independent.
Yeah, I forgot Six Flags. See, that's what we have Six Flags like an hour away from us, but I don't know. Six Flags it's not the same to me like it used to be. Maybe because it's been a minute since I've been to, but last time I've been, I got on the roller coaster, guys. I said never again. I'll never fall into that peer pressure again.
Privately owned or family operated. Without this corporate backing, you'd be left to believe that European theme parks are a thing that you can miss out on. But the industry there is thriving and innovating at a pace that almost no other continent can keep up with. So that brings us to the question, why are European theme parks so good? Let's explore that on this episode of Review Time. I'm your host, Dom.
Oh my gosh. Energylandia, I never heard of that.
Park good? Is it the rides, the theming, the uniqueness, or a combination of all of those factors? Goodness is inherently subjective. It's guaranteed to change from person to person, which presents the elephant in the room. Am I biased? There are hundreds of theme parks in Europe, and I have only visited a slither of what is to offer. Just like every industry, you are guaranteed to have your good and your bad. But the more I explore what is to offer in Europe, the more I am genuinely impressed by what is out there. Adversely, it could just be that theme parks in Europe are a breath of fresh air against the ultra-commercial, branded intellectual property havens that exist in the Western world. European parks promote the idea of escapism, allowing you to distance yourself from the mundanity.
Yeah, I feel like this maybe because I haven't been to Disney World yet, but it seemed like over in Europe that it's more of an experience. Like you feel like you're a part of like the different. So you just feel like you're a part of it.
The idea of escapism, allowing you to distance yourself from the mundanity of everyday life to discover new worlds, stories, and possibilities. There was a novelty in the early days of exploring your favorite brand in a theme park, but now it's so heavily oversaturated that any opportunity to escape a possible cross-promotion is a welcome change. But beyond possibly biased subjectivity, there are also facts that don't add up for me. Things that make me question what the Western world is doing wrong, and what Europe is doing right. Let's start with exploring the ease of traveling around Europe. Firstly, Europe is a continent, not a country, and included in that area described as Europe are roughly 750 million people. Wow. Specifically for this video, we're going to be focusing on countries that fall underneath the European Union, and that contains roughly 450 of the 750 million people. I'm also including the UK because it's my video and I can do what I want. Within the EU is a freedom to travel. You are able to leave one country and go to another freely, so long as it's also within the EU. This makes tourism a breeze, so the first conclusion may be that European parks are so great because they have the luxury of so many people, but oddly enough for many theme parks on the continent, that's not the case. In 2019, the top 20 most visited theme parks in Europe saw a combined attendance of 64 million guests.
Wow.
Now that seems like a lot, but in comparison to the United States, it was comparable to the top 4 theme parks, which also saw 64 million guests. 3 of those were within Florida alone. Out of the 25 most visited theme parks in the world, only 4 of them were in Europe, and 2 of those were Disney theme parks. Even though the EU has a substantial population, theme park attendance is relatively low compared to places like the United States, Japan, and China. This isn't an entirely fair comparison though. Places like Walt Disney World and Universal Studios in Florida, a state which alone saw over 90 million attendees at its theme parks in 2019, are advertised as worldwide theme park destinations.
And they really are, because even when I go visit my brother in Florida, like, that's all you see. Disney, Universal, they promote it so well that I sit here and watch. Like, or, you know, I got YouTube Premium now, but usually when I sit here and watch ads and stuff, like, it'll pop up all the time. Commercials, all
theme
that
parks
stuff.
in 2019 are advertised as worldwide theme park destinations. A lot of people fly into Orlando, visit some of these theme parks, and fly straight out without visiting much of the United States. In comparison, there's nothing really like this in Europe. Some could argue that maybe Disneyland Paris is similar, but realistically, it doesn't have enough to support just flying into France for the theme park and then leaving. It's a 2 to 3 day experience at most, and for most people, Europe is really, really far away. Extending on this, theme parks in Europe appear to be complementary to travel than actual destinations themselves.
What is that?
On average, they're smaller and catered to families, which in the US is a market dominated by Disney and Universal. Regional operators in the United States such as Six Flags, Cedar Fair, and SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment, who hold a vast majority of the other top amusement parks in the US, know that they...
See, we went to SeaWorld, and I feel like because SeaWorld, they also have like a little water park connected to it, but SeaWorld, like, unless you like watching like the little sea animals like shows and all that stuff, like maybe you want to see the whales, the dolphins and stuff like that, that's pretty much what it was. But next door, it's a bigger water park, and you can spend most of your time there. Like, we was there at the water park for like 6-7 hours because there was so much to do, so much, you know, you're just chilling, hot sunny day, hot summer day. So I like SeaWorld though. I like SeaWorld.
They can't compete with these behemoths. So instead, they dedicate themselves to primarily thrill rides and attractions, which draws in teenagers, young adults, and couples. Unlike some resorts, a majority of European theme parks aren't designed to trap families for weeks at a time, like in Orlando, as there is so much to see and do outside of these theme parks that people want to do shorter trips to them as part of their travel and not base their trips entirely around them. Whilst Disney and Merlin have a fairly strong foothold over the family market in Europe, a lot of theme parks beyond these major operators create comfortably balanced parks for everyone. It's not uncommon for these parks to have world-class dark rides with animatronics, immersive theming, and innovative technology. I'm about to slaughter some names, but Symbolica at Efteling, Basilisk at Legendia, Mouse A Chocolate at Phantasialand, Tomb Blaster at Chessington World of Adventures, and Challenge of Tutankhamun at Wallaby, Belgium. Many of these parks also have imposing roller coasters, but keeping their focus on more than just one demographic is a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
It allows them to capture both families and thrill seekers, but because people aren't going for weeks at a time, they can go and have a satisfying experience and then head on their way, exploring Europe. Now, just because they're...
cool. Which I think is cool, because usually when people go to Disney World, they probably stay at their Disney resort and stuff. But I know when my brother, where he lives at Disney World, is not far, so we can still find like a good price on a hotel and just, But I do get what he's saying.
And then head on their way, exploring Europe. Now, just because their parks don't attract huge amounts of visitors doesn't mean that Europe's geography doesn't give them an advantage. Firstly, it means that those Europeans that are interested in theme parks have the bonus of being within close proximity to a lot of them. It's fairly inexpensive to travel across Europe once you're there, and at the time of recording, you can fly between the two largest theme parks in Europe, Europa Park and Efteling, for $75 US. But there's a consequence to this. Competition. The density and ease of travel around Europe means that if somebody doesn't like what you're offering, then you can easily move on to the next theme park.
Yeah, that's true.
Oftentimes, locals may not have a choice, but travelers certainly do. And for any park wanting to be taken seriously, this means that they need to be thrifty about what they're offering. This thriftiness can come from companies they work with to create and manufacture their attractions. B&M, Mack Rides, Intamin, Vekoma, and Zamperla are 5 of the most prominent theme park manufacturers in the world. It is likely that if you visited a theme park at least once in your life, then you've ridden one of these manufacturers' rides, and they're all based in Europe. This makes working with these companies a lot easier, with many of their rides also being manufactured on the same continent.
And I bet most of these rides are probably the same, but it's like if you haven't been to all of them, you probably won't notice that most of them are probably the same structure, probably different colors, and that's what I think.
It means that the logistics of getting the attractions to their parks is nowhere near as expensive or problematic as it would be to ferry the attractions across the world. This proximity can promote beneficial relationships for both parks and manufacturers. Take, for example, Phantasialand. With only 2 million guests per year, not even making Europe's top 10, it was able to create a fully realized and immersive land depicting a steampunk city around an incredible prototype flying roller coaster from Vekoma.
That's different right there.
This roller coaster wouldn't look out of place in a Disney or Universal theme park, yet it's hanging out in rural Germany. Whilst details and statistics of the ride are closely guarded by the theme park, there is some credence to the idea that Vekoma helped to fund the attraction at Phantasialand. The ride system used for Fly is a prototype for a new generation of flying roller coasters. It features brand new trains and loading procedures, which solves many of the logistical problems present in the current models. By pitching in, the Coma has an opportunity to promote the attraction and use it as a functional sales pitch.
This one I think is different. It's like just a roller coaster just in the middle of everything.
Has an opportunity to promote the attraction and use it as a functional sales pitch for those interested in purchasing the roller coaster model. Whilst Phantasialand can use the saved funds to enhance the aesthetics around the land and ride. Things are even better for Europa Park, the second most popular theme park in Europe after Disneyland Paris. Their parent company is Mack Rides, which means that they get the best of both worlds. They are able to create world-class attractions for themselves and sell those to theme parks around the world. We are seeing this with Steel Taipan at Dreamworld in Australia. This is a brand new roller coaster in Australia with an almost identical track layout to Bluefire, which opened at Europa Park in 2009. Dreamworld has customized the ride with a new triple launch, but beyond that, it's almost identical. Now, when it comes to theming, on average, theme parks in Europe have a much higher standard across the board compared to their worldwide counterparts. Now, this could possibly be for similar reasons as to why Disneyland Paris's castle is the way that it is. Since Europe is home to the castles that inspired Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty Castle at the US parks, Imagineers were required to reimagine the castle concept. Instead of being realistic, the idea was instead to be more grandiose and fantastical. Europe is a gorgeous, picturesque continent filled with both natural and man-made beauty. Its history fills the landscape with distinct architecture, including castles, and these historic attractions are often free to view by just visiting the many towns, cities, and landmarks around the continent. This means that for both tourists and locals, the standards are exceptionally high. They're not going to settle for lackluster theming when the real world already provides such a fantastical experience. But another benefit is that European theme parks are generally smaller to their international counterparts, which means that they have less area to work with, which can help to reduce costs. So are European theme parks better, or are they just different? For the most
I feel like they, right now, because I still haven't been to Disney World, but definitely different. Then I feel like it's more options in Europe down here, like he mentioning. He only mentioned Disney World, Universal, Six Flags, maybe SeaWorld. Like, those are the only four that I really know of, other than, like, we have, like, county fairs. That's about it, but those are not, like, theme parks. But I feel like I've seen something. It's an experience over
European
in Europe.
theme parks seem to be more bang for your buck. They seem to make their lower attendance go further. They're more innovative beyond just trying to break thrill ride records, and their standards seem higher on average. But they also seem smaller and less grand in scope. The lowered importance of intellectual property in most theme parks around Europe is a breath of fresh air. And even without this, the industry has shown steady growth over the last several years, whilst Disney, who are pretty partial to having intellectual property in their parks, has actually seen a decline in attendance. Whilst COVID has made things difficult for the entire industry, I'm excited to see how Europe bounces back from this. Now, do all of these things make European theme parks better? Well, that's a matter of opinion. But the fact is that Europe is different, and many international theme park operators could learn from this thriving industry. From the home of all things theme parks, I'm Dom for Review Time. Thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing.
I think that was pretty cool. Definitely. I think the amusement park definitely different look. When I seen Efteling, the first thing I thought was Disney, but I know in the Netherlands they were telling me, hey, Efteling was here long before Disney, you know. So, but definitely different over there. That's why I feel like it's an experience. It's just an experience to just even go to a theme park, in my opinion. But definitely seen a couple of more I wouldn't mind wanting to go to, take the fam over in Europe. But hey, definitely working on that. But y'all make sure y'all send me more recommendations. Y'all let me know what's your favorite theme park in the comments below. Let me know where you've been, what you would prefer or recommend. But that's all I have. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Hey, I feel like y'all just have more to offer. Y'all have more theme parks to offer. We just have the 4 main ones, Or maybe there's some more that I haven't heard of that's out there, but I don't know. But y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.